Hello, traders, and welcome to the market opening preview on Thursday, July 2nd, 2015. Traders is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Today's beautiful day out of Pattaya, Thailand, bright blue sunny skies and white sandy beaches. So we're going to look at some data that's coming out today. It's the big data day of the month. And we'll look at 6 currency pairs with trade plans, and hopefully your trade plan meets my trade plan, and then that's even better. Traders, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilda. I'm your moderator for the market opening preview series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I do this in Asia, so it's quite early in the morning for me in Thailand. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006. In 2008, I retired from a wonderful 27-year career out of the great state of Florida. Traders, I do trade the Forex markets every day, looking at technicals, fundamentals, and I'm looking for probabilities and opportunities to enter trades where I am over 50% that I will win the trade. And no traders, I do lose trades. Absolutely, I do lose trades. But happily to say, I have more winners than losers. And that's how I've stayed in the market as many years as I have. Never blown an account. I think I'm probably one of the few. Never blown a Forex account. All right, that's enough about me. Let's get over to the risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept them in order to trade in and invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most importantly, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. In other words, pick a system and stay with it. Don't be changing systems every other day just because you lose a trade. All right, let's get over to news and data. First, let's do the indices before we talk about what's going to happen today. We have the US 30 closed up 0.79%. The S&P 500 was up 0.69%. And the NASDAQ was up 0.53%. And the Russell 2000 was up 0.16%. I actually was in New York session yesterday. I quite enjoyed looking at the New York session and trading it if I can. The only problem is it starts to get pretty late for me, so I very rarely enter trades in the New York session. All right, the DAX going over to the Eurozone closed up 0.15%. The FTSE 100 closed up 1.34%. The CAC 40 closed up 1.94%. And the Eurostoxx 50 closed up 2.15%. And wow, that's a lot. Traders, let's move over to Asia. Remember, these countries that I'm going to talk about are currently trading at the moment. The Nikkei 225 is up 1.16%. The S&P ASX 200 is up 0.81%. And the Shanghai, believe it or not, is negative at 1.26%. The Hang Seng is up 0.17%. And the Kospi out of Seoul is up 0.29%. So numbers looking good. Remember, traders, all those green numbers that we saw in the Eurozone and the U.S. markets was due to they thought they had a deal with Greece and, emails were sent to each other. And the bottom line is nothing's changed. Nothing has changed at all. Nothing's going to happen until after Sunday. And Greece today will be put on the back burner. And why is that? Today is the biggest news event of the day, and the only thing you have to worry about on the calendar today is NFP. Non-farm payrolls today is in the U.S. session. It's 1 hour before the New York Stock Market Exchange opens, and it is very volatile. Traders, if you are not experienced trading live for a minimum of 6 months, and you have traded demo accounts for NFP, please don't trade NFP. It will whipsaw you, and you will lose money quickly. I mean, like in seconds. Commentary for today is, I'm sorry, traders. Commentary for today is that, remember it's NFP. I mean, that's the whole focus of today is NFP. And what's going to happen is London's going to open and we might see some volatility for the first 2 hours, maybe 3 hours in London. And the markets are going to just slow down. Everything's going to go sideways. because traders don't want to be in a trade when the NFP announcement is being announced. So the markets really slow down. Now, it's possible that can happen at the London Open. So NFP day is sort of like, tossing a coin whether anything's going to work or not. So we'll see what happens. I definitely want to be out of all my trades by London lunch. I do not want to be in my trades during London lunch. That means at 6 p.m. Thailand time, which is 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I want to definitely be out of all my trades, and basically I'm clean for the day. And then we'll look at the fireworks, NFP. I don't trade NFP. I'm just not good at it. Don't do something you're not good at. I've tried it. I've tried to learn how to do it. I've been trading since 2006, and you know what? I was good at it for a while, and then I just started losing and losing and losing. I said, you know what? There's no need for me to trade NFP. In fact, one of my mentors long ago was from FX Bootcamp, Wayne McDonald, and he used to always come on and say, it's NFP, you know what? Go back to sleep, or go play a round of golf. But do not trade NFP. So, yeah, it's kind of funny, but yeah. Now he does a whole thing on FX Street, every NFP. And actually, he's been doing it for, I think the last 8 or 9 years. He's been doing it. So he's been at it quite a while. Okay, we're going to take a look at some 60-minute Forex charts today. I had some really nice price action yesterday. I woke up to a win this morning. I was really happy about that. That's always a nice feeling on the euro. And I took that, believe it or not, I took that trade in New York and kept it overnight. Now that's meaning I'm changing, because I usually don't keep trades overnight, but I did take the trade and I did win the trade. So really happy about that. And I'll show it to you. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start today with the pound dollar. The pound dollar, this pair is just broken out. This was unbelievable. Nice breakout yesterday. That was data. That big red candle was the thing that the Prime Minister of Greece had agreed to the creditors' conditions with a couple of exceptions, and has sent them a letter, and that the markets just went nuts. Anyhow, it ended up continuing to sell off, and now we're sitting just above this 1.5601 area, psychological area. However, the trade plan for today is we want price to pull back. I want this price to pull back up to this daily pivot point at 56.54, and then we could sell this. I really don't want to sell this here. Now, normally I would say if it breaks support, you know what? Jump in it. The problem is the amount of hours we have. We can't be sitting in a trade for 6 hours today or 5 hours. We got to be able to get in a trade and get out of a trade in 2 to 3 hours, because before you know it, it's going to be London lunch. Asia did have some news today, and their trade balance, the number came out bad, but it only moved like 20 pips. And the last I looked at the Aussie chart was, did I say Asia? I meant the Aussie. The Aussie chart was that it was already pulling back, so not a big deal on their trade balance, and that's the news that came out. New Zealand apparently had data. It was not on my economic calendar, and they had some reference to their dairy industry, had some bad numbers come out. So New Zealand got hit pretty bad earlier today. Let's take a look at the euro. The euro is, thank you, Mr. Euro, made me some pips. The price where I entered this was like, gosh, it's 11.95, I think, or something like that. And then I just slept for 8 hours and came back and woke up, and I was down where we are now. In fact, when I woke up, this blue candle had just opened when I opened my charts. I woke up 2 hours before that, but my charts were open when this blue candle was just forming, and I was out of that trade in 2 seconds. Absolutely out of that trade. Quick, done, over. Have a nice day. Give me my pips. My take profit was right below this wick. I saw the higher low. That was it. I was out. I was done. I wasn't going to mess with it. I made my pips. I was happy. But, we're going to continue to sell this. There's no reason to buy the euro. and I'm not buying the euro. So it can go up 200 pips. I'm not buying the euro. There's no reason to buy the euro. And so we are just going to stay with where we're at and hold on. I'm not, or I didn't see, and I have to be honest with you, I didn't look hard to see if the Euro group was meeting today. But that's irrelevant because I'm going to tell you NFP overrules everything. Everything will be ignored except for NFP and, of course, what the unemployment rate in the United States is. Those are the two big issues today, and anything else, unless there's a disaster in the world, everything else will be sidelined. Like they probably won't even talk about it. So I don't think we're going to hear from the wobbleheads today. All right, let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. There's the candle. This was the news candle. This is pulled back since I've taken this slide. But I want this to come back to the 0.7663. You can see I use the red dotted line, which is a mean line, and I like that the daily pivot point is right above it. So that's great resistance. So we have a little buffer there, and if you would, you can just put your stop just above that daily pivot point, about 3-4 pips, and that is it. It's either going to work or not. And we're going to enter this at 0.7663, and we'll get out at 76. 13. So we're looking at like a 48 pip, 45 pip trade. Not a bad trade if it works. I would not sell this here. I know you can get to the S1 and be in profit, but I would not sell here. We are at 32. That's like 18 pip trade. Don't sell this here. You're going to end up in trouble, okay? So if that doesn't give you a pullback on this Aussie, forget it. Don't move on. Move on. Go play golf. Go back to sleep. All right. Let's take a look at the Euro Aussie. Really nothing drastic. Second day in a row we're doing the trend line thing. I want to break the trend line, and I want to take this down to 43.44. And we want to enter this at 1.4429. I don't like this trade, by the way. I just want to let you know right off the bat. I would not take this trade. Why? One is it's only a two-touch trend line, which is not a big deal. But once you break the trend line, you're coming into S1 right after it. Then you're coming into this yellow line. This yellow line is an automatic support and resistance indicator that's placed on my charts automatically. So every day I open up my charts, I have my new support and resistance already on my charts. And this just, this is going to bounce here. And if you look left of the chart, look, it's bounced off of it from there on both directions, whether it was some resistance or was support. So we don't want, this just looks, then, you got too many bumps in the road to get down to our take profit area 43.44. So this is a very high risk trade. And 200 exponential moving average at 1.4508 is really of no concern. We don't have to worry about that. All right, let's go and keep moving. This is our euro yen. Euro yen. I know you're saying, Bill, this looks like the same chart as yesterday. Well, guess what? Other than a couple of number movements, it is the same chart as yesterday. There was no price action yesterday. This thing hasn't done a thing in 2 days. So we still want to sell from the daily pivot point at 136.44, and we want to take profit at 134.89 at the S2, and that's where we're at. We're going to get a bump at this yellow line, which is support. We're going to get a bump there, and that's fine. It's probably just going to bounce back up like it is here, and we're expecting this now to drop back down. I think this is a great trade plan. I think, if it wasn't NFP, I'd say this is a pretty good 75% chance that you can win this trade. This is just like in the mode. And this to me, if you look left of the chart, just tells me this thing just wants to just dump. This just wants to sell off. So, if it wasn't NFP, I'd be all over this. But not now. I'm not looking at this, and I wouldn't look at it until at least the London Open, and probably like an hour into the London Open. But it's got to break. It's got to break some of this. It's got to show me. It's got to prove to me. I need to see a couple of red candles, and not these little wimpy ones. I need to see nice, real red candles to prove that it wants to come down. And again, it's got to do it before London lunch. So time is of major essence. And our last chart of the day is the New Zealand dollar. Traders, this pair has been absolutely awesome this month. This pair has been stair-stepping to the downside at a couple of up days, but I'm telling you, this pair is absolutely great. And this pair has worked for the last 2 weeks. Every day it's worked. It just keeps selling off, selling off, selling off. Keeps giving you a pullback. If you look left of the chart, look at this. 5 red candles to the upside. What does it do? Boom, down it comes, right? So we just want this pullback, come up to now as resistance, enter at 0.6746. We'll get out at 67.04. Thank you very much. It's a 40 pip trade. What more can you ask for on a NFP day, right? So I'm looking at this. This is probably the pair that I'm looking at the closest is this New Zealand dollar trade, because I just think this is going to just work. For those of you who do trade NFP, you always want to use like a Euro yen or an Aussie yen. You always want to trade in the yen pair. And the New Zealand dollar really does well at NFP. And of course, also the Euro dollar. But I'd rather do the yen pairs, believe it or not. Like the Euro yen or something like that. I mean, those are the pairs you want to trade for NFP. So that wraps up our 6 currency pairs. So traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilda, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, have a great NFP trading day, and always remember to trade smart and not hard. Traders, until next time, we'll catch you later from Pattaya, Thailand. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.